What is up, everybody? Welcome back. As you know, we always start the show off talking about those companies that help make this podcast possible. We have a few new ones that we're going to talk about today. First is going to be our friends over there, Mr. Nate and Ted. It's Nate Adams and Ted Kidd. They have started this thing. It is called HVAC 2.0 Early Adopters Program. We will share the link in there. It's kind of long, but I'll say it anyway. It's www.hvac2.0/earlyadopters.html. I will share that so you guys can see. I know it's a lot, but yeah, this thing sounds really awesome. So one of the HVAC 2.0 driving missions is to provide a service that improves the image of the HVAC industry, that provides excellent experiences for both you, the contractor, and your clients. Transitioning to the HVAC 2.0 process takes a bit of work. Now that our founding contractors are up to speed, you can see their comments and screenshots they have on their website, looking to figure out how to onboard contractors faster, more easily, as well as use some help. And everybody's asking, what the hell is HVAC 2.0? HVAC 2.0 is a sales system where if you feel like you're selling, you're doing it wrong. It lets you solve gnarly problems that you probably can't solve with your current methods while landing more and larger jobs and owning less responsibility. All you have to do is educate your clients, then offer them options. Now they co-own the responsibility for the outcomes. If you feel slimy in your sales tactics, you're getting blamed for problems you didn't cause, well, let's solve more complex problems while making more money and enjoying your life more. HVAC 2.0 is worth taking a look at. Guys, HVAC 2.0 system for everything from the simplest change out to selling high-end systems to fixing basket case houses that need tons of work to be comfortable and efficient. You can confidently lean into any situation and know that you can deliver results. Guys, go check this out. They have a few different little plans. One is free. One includes more reports. But when you click on their website, when you go down to the bottom, if you put in that you heard about them from HVAC Uncensored, they will give you 1 month free of the program just for being a friend of ours. So guys, go check out HVAC 2.0, the Early Adopters Program. If you can't find the email, then email us and I will forward that link to you. You can email us at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. All right. So check out HVAC 2.0 sales program to make your life easier. Next, real fast, is going to be a friend of mine that I've talked about, who has a clothing line. He's just a little guy. He's not a big guy. But I love supporting small businesses, just like a lot of people, support us, the small businesses that we are. So if you guys are looking for some cool clothing designs and stuff like that to wear that's not, going to break the bank and, supporting all these big corporate junks, all the stuff they sell, guys, check out Greg York Originals. So just Google that, Greg York Originals. So just GREG YORK Originals, and check it out. If you put in the code HVAC Uncensored at checkout, I'm pretty sure my buddy's giving you guys 30% off. So 30% off whatever you want. I have because this video is going to go out. I have a hat right here. This is one he sent me, and he actually put Uncensored on the side of it. So that was pretty cool. So like to support those local businesses, so go check him out, Greg York Originals. And last but not least is going to be our old faithful, Mr. Yellow Jacket. It's not a Mr., just Yellow Jacket. One thing I want to say real fast, because the last episode didn't get out, is I don't think we said it enough on the 100th episode, how much, we want to thank all of our sponsors, but we really, really, really want to thank Yellow Jacket because they have been the only sponsor since day one. They were a sponsor before we even had our first podcast out. So we just want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts to Yellow Jacket. They have been here since day one. We really value the partnership that we have with them, and we wouldn't be where we are without that partnership. So let's get into it. Guys, I want you to check out, if any of you are looking for a new wireless refrigerant scale, Yellow Jacket has a new scale out that I have had the chance of using, and this thing is a beast. Okay. This is wireless. Says it has a 220-pound capacity, large platform, wireless Bluetooth communication via the HVAC View app, which is very, very good. The number on this is going to be 68864, but it has all the refrigerants, the accuracy down to 0.05% accuracy and 0.2 ounces. The resolution is amazing. It comes with a carrying case, and this thing is built like a tank. Like I always say, even though Yellow Jack's a sponsor, I don't beat around the bush. I know sometimes they don't have the fancy schmancy, new tech looking things, but their stuff works and is built like a tank, and that's the truth. Every product they've ever sent me, I've ever bought from Yellow Jacket, I beat the holy fuck out of, and it still works. And to me, that's part of the thing that I'm buying, is the value that I know every time I need this tool, it's going to be there to work when I need it. I don't care how fancy it looks. If I go to press the on button and it doesn't work, well, guess what? That doesn't help me at all. And I know that we can rely on Yellow Jacket with all the products that I use from them. So go check out all their new products. Download the HVAC View app and give this thing a try. And guys, remember, 70 years of expertise built into every tool hung to the shelf.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all of our global listeners.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
If you're trying to take your HVAC game to the next level, then buckle your seatbelt, crank up the volume, and try not to be offended, because you're listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast with Gil Cavey and Kelley McKay. Now, here's Gil and Kelley.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored podcast, episode 101, technically 101. I am your host, Gil Cavey Jr., sitting alongside my buddy, old pal, mother effing HVAC millionaire, Kelley McKay. What's up, my man?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I can't believe, damn, dude, 100 episodes, man. It's a lot.
That is a lot.
Technically, this should be 102. I fucked up last week, so this is 101. We have to redo the last one. So if that guest is listening, sir, I apologize. I did not want to put that out because I didn't want it to look bad on you, and it was my mistake. So I will be in contact to get you back on, because I think you're an awesome guest, and I want to make sure that the listeners, actually get the full effect, because the first one we recorded was awesome.
It was. He was on fire.
So
I mean, the content was awesome, and
yeah. I looked down and saw that wasn't recording, and I wanted to punch myself right in the face. I take just
as much blame because we've talked about this before. This ain't this happened maybe one other time. Honestly, I mean, it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it's anything. Well, it happened the one time when you weren't around, when I was with James.
That's right.
But it's just, that was different because I wasn't with you. It wasn't our normal routine. Yep. How we talk. Okay, man, let's go take a puff. Then we come back, hit record, everything's set, and we roll. So whenever I get thrown out of the normal rhythm, it's like, seems like that's when I forget. As long as it's a normal routine, even with a guest, it's like, bam, bam, bam. Okay. Yep. But, just got to stop getting sidetracked. Now I actually have something on the wall over here. It says, don't forget to fucking record. So, don't forget to fucking press record.
Right?
But,
checklist. That's what it's
yes.
about.
Check it. Check the list twice. I'm the HVAC Santa Claus.
Well,
we're both wearing red
we
tonight.
are. We got the old Iron Man shirt on.
Nice.
I like your shirt better, but anyhow, I know you guys are just rolling right along. We're pretty slow. We're like, fighting for every call right now. Constantly, we're using our old customer list. So we're going into it, digging into it. And, I say old customer list, just customer list. And we've done a couple of voice shots where we called the list, and still trying to we're down to like sending letters to the people who aren't responding to our calls for the, pre-planned maintenance. So that's what we're doing right now.
Nice. Well, see, that's one thing here that, I think we're doing a lot of things good. Maintenance contracts are not so good. We definitely need to do a lot more maintenance contracts. We did a lot with building reviews, and the reviews have been amazing. Reviews are good. So we definitely got some things we have to build in certain directions. But like I've always said, the foundation here is really, really good, and sky's the limit. We are staying pretty steady, and this is not a sponsor, but one company that me and Ryan talk a lot about that I want to give a tons of credit. And if any of you guys are having marketing issues or your marketing's not working, is Mr. Cristiano at Rhino Strategic Solutions. What they do over there is good. And they are a lot of the reason why we are busy right now. Like I'm literally running sales calls out the wazoo in the slow time. And granted, are they all good leads? No, but you get enough that we're still busy, I mean, to be honest, I'm running way more sales calls, selling way more systems here than I would at my last company. That was a lot bigger company.
Yeah.
We weren't we weren't having this amount of leads. So I've seen firsthand what they do. I mean, they do our website too. And I don't know how to speak on it, but the way they do all of the different things of how they get people migrated to your website, it works, man. It works. And another one that I didn't even know that you should probably check out his podcast. Where's my phone? But Chris has a podcast, and he has
to the point or something.
Yes, it's actually very good. So any of you out there, check out the To The Point podcast with Cristiano. He's got a co-host. I'm sorry that I don't know who it is. But the podcast is very, very good, very informative. So definitely check that out. And if you are a business owner, kind of in that middle market, you're not sure what you're going to do, I would definitely give Chris a call, Rhino Strategic Solutions, and tell him Gil and Kelley sent you from HVAC Uncensored. So maybe we can get a sponsorship. So
you had said something about, they're not always the best leads. Well, that's just with any marketing campaign. And it's because when you're marketing to a cold lead, I think the average or a really solid number to shoot for as far as closing, an equipment sale lead is somewhere between 20 to 30%. It's not like your normal hot leads, like your technician goes out and finds a cracked heat exchanger. Like that's totally different.
Exactly. It was funny because I was going to say, because I said 25%. Me and Ryan were talking about this today. And on those cold leads, I'm probably like 38%.
That's good. That's solid.
Yeah,
Guarantee
exactly. That's what I was saying. I mean, granted, summertime when it's hot and the stuff's there, I'll probably be like 75%. Right. But yeah, 38% on these cold leads like this, I think are pretty good. Cause you get some of these people where, and I think we need to do a better job of filtering them as far as like how they come through, just because a couple of them I went out to and, I'm like, oh yeah, when are you looking to do this? Well, I'm trying to get my AC changed before next summer. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
So I try to do things when they're like, but I'm probably gonna do the whole system and I'll probably do the water heater. I'm like, oh, well, we're giving a free water heater, if you change the system before January 1st. Right. I mean, if it's a 40-gallon, $400 for a 40-gallon water heater, $450. Yep. If I can get a system sale, fuck that water heater. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm trying to create a sense of urgency to do that. But some of them, it's just like, and what frustrates me sometimes is you don't know until you do them. And, they take the time and effort. And it's like, shit, man. Well, I could have spent this on the guy I was at before trying to build him, build that one a little bit better. But it's the nature of the beast. It is what it is. I'm not going to bitch about running sales calls. You know what I mean? It's been good. Plus now when I first got here, it just took me a little bit to kind of get my feet under me, being used to a certain system, a certain place for fucking so many years. Now that I've finally got my feet under me. I'm finally, bam, 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 getting stuff going. So it feels, it feels good. Didn't mean to burp into the mic.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, I think that's 38% solid, man. Like nothing to be ashamed of there. That's a solid number. I think at any time, but especially now, I mean, you guys are a little bit colder there. But you're still having mild days. You're still getting up into the 50s, 60s, I'm sure, during the day. It might get cold at night, but so there's just that sense of urgency is not there right now, and that always makes sales harder. Always. Normally,
because they don't need it. It's not broken.
Exactly. So yeah, it is what it is. Other than that, we went ahead and purchased another van last week. So yesterday we took it up and got it measured for shelves. It had one shelf in it, but I still need 2 shelves on the driver's side and ladder rack. So $3,800 to get that done. And then we'll get it wrapped after we get the shelving put in. So I'm excited to get that rolling. Hired a guy that I'm super excited about. So yeah, something that we've needed, breath of fresh air, like go-getter, smart, young. So something that we've needed. And my team is really young. So even though this is a younger guy, he still has close to 10 years experience, and it's been a wide variety of experience. So that's what I'm really excited about, because he's been trained, in boilers and chillers. And so we in refrigeration as well. So we may start venturing into that, because, I know we haven't talked about this on the podcast before, but we're missing some revenue this year from our plumbing department, because we really just had the one plumber, and him and his wife had a baby in March or April, and it was like 26 or 28 weeks early. And so they spent, every day in the hospital, and with COVID going on, it just it's complicated things, obviously. And they finally got to a point where the best thing for the baby would be to send him to a specialty hospital in Kansas City. So they've been in Kansas City for literally 100 days already. And he doesn't want to be pulled away. Obviously he's making, I'm sure his family's helping him out. We're trying to help him out. So this month and next month, we use his license, even though we're not running plumbing calls. I'm not taking that money away. He's still getting that pay, but it's just a small thing every week. He's used up his vacation, obviously. It's just been rough. It's been difficult for them, and I feel for them like crazy. And I can't wait for them. I know they can't wait to just get home, and we can't wait to have him back either. So, it's been a rough year.
A little bit. I remember us talking about that. It's been a while back. I mean, is the baby okay?
He's getting better. They're weaning him off of oxygen. I think he was on morphine for a while too. It's whatever it has to do with them keeping him sedated, because they had all this stuff strapped to his face to make sure he's getting the oxygen that he needs. And, but they're slowly weaning him off the oxygen. It's just a really slow process. So it's twice a week. They make little adjustments, and he keeps adapting and he keeps growing. He's 15 pounds now. So it's, the more he grows and the more his lungs develop, the better chance of him being able to come home sooner rather than later. But
yeah, well, it doesn't help with all this COVID bullshit either with babies like that.
They've got a little girl too that's with them, and like the little girl she can only go into the hospital once a month. So like somebody has to watch her constantly. Like it's been a real struggle for them, but I know their families helped them out. There's been some fundraisers that's going on. We're doing basically any maintenance agreement we sell for November and December. I'm just giving them the first payment for the maintenance agreement, for the monthly maintenance agreement, he's still getting his Christmas bonus, and he's still getting and the team's going to chip in too. We've already talked about it, just trying to scrape some money together for him, do what we can,
Well, that's awesome, man. That's because as a parent, man, I could only imagine going through something like that, man. I really could. So I feel for him. So that's awesome. You guys are doing that, dude. Good for you, man.
We don't have a ton of money, so we can only do so much, but we need to do something, so that's what we're doing. And, I know they'll appreciate any little bit that they can get. So it's, but it's been a weird year, dude. Weird year.
It's weird to say the least.
So I'm glad this shit's almost over, like at least a year. Even if we're still dealing with COVID, we're like, I don't watch the news and I haven't been following this. I just hear from everybody that we're in the red zone, like we're hot spot right now. So, my mother-in-law got it. She was sick for like 2 days and she was fine after that. I'm not saying or downplaying it. I know that some people have passed away from it and have wound up in the hospital, but I don't know if there's different forms of it or like some of it's worse than others. I don't know, but, I know we've talked about this extensively, at least at the beginning of the year. And it's like, it's a concern, but I know everybody's ready for it to be over with.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, and you also got to be prepared because, and I'm not going to make this a political talk, but they say cases are going back up and shit might shut down again.
Yes.
So it's definitely something that you need to be aware of. If it shuts down, it shuts down. So I really hope it doesn't. And I know that COVID is bad, but if this country has another shutdown, you're going to finally put the nail in a couple of coffins for some of these small businesses.
You're talking probably millions, not just a couple, like hundreds of thousands at least.
Oh yeah. It's going to destroy them. They're going to be, and I hate seeing that. You're talking like 30-year family-owned businesses that they've passed it down that can't survive. I just know ones around here that it's like, we just not going to be able to survive. Yeah. So I hope, really, really, really hope that doesn't happen. But it's one of those things that's out of our control, though. So we'll see. But you all should be prepared for it. Let's hope for the best, but be prepared if something like this happens again. How much money do you have in the bank? What kind of assets you have? Don't let it catch you again. You know what I mean? Like we all got smacked in the face with this the first time. If we get shut down again, yes, we're essential, yada, 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 but don't let it get you again is what I'm trying to say. Try to over prepare. If you don't need it, hey, you're good. But, I don't want to be getting any emails from you guys saying like I had to close the doors, I got laid off and all that kind of stuff. Cause that sucks. You never like hearing that kind of stuff.
And it's, so far, so good. People haven't been, even though cases are way up here where I'm at, it hasn't been hasn't deterred, I don't think, any business. Thankfully, we're definitely grateful and thankful because we're like any other business. We need to continue, so.
Yeah. Well, see, and I'm not like some conspiracy theorist, man. And I know people are getting sick, but these cases, man, I just have a hard time believing this stuff just because I know so many people that have gotten, positive tests and they didn't have it, or they didn't even take the test and they got a letter saying they were positive. Right. So, I don't know what to believe anymore, but I know people are getting sick. I know people are dying from it. So, I'm not saying that. It's just, like you said, I don't watch the news anymore, man. I just go about my daily life. I try to protect my family and myself and my employees the best way possible. And I just don't even watch the news anymore. It's fucking depressing.
It's completely depressing. So So yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. Moving on.
What's weird is this van that we purchased. It's a used van. It had 19,000 miles, 2015 with only 19,000 miles. So it wasn't used very much, but it was outfitted, and I took some video of it. I'll probably put it on my YouTube channel. I wish I would have taken video when we took the panel off and you could see all the wiring behind this, but this thing was outfitted. I can't imagine it probably cost like 15 grand to get this van outfitted this way, but it had a computer monitor in it, a desk that went the entire length basically of the driver's side, like a nice heavy duty desk with like butcher block top. I took it and put it in my garage. I think I'm going to put it next to my grill on my back patio, but
nice.
Just really outfitted weird. Those big industrial power strips, they got like 15 outlets on them. It had like 6 of those, 7 of those on there. I mean, just crazy. I think it's got plugins where it used to, I think you would plug in your power source and then it would power the van, but it had a switch box in it that controlled everything. It's got LED lights on the back and on the side. It's really strange, but
you probably like a CIA van or something.
We were thinking
like,
this is like surveillance.
Fucking like, well, election's over, so maybe it was the people, hacking the election.
Yeah, could be. Well, we're going to turn it into an HVAC van. So
get rid of the evidence. We're going to sell it to this guy.
All the walls are insulated too. Weird. It's weird.
Nice.
So
might be a good van to get. You're going to get in there and hear nothing. Somebody driving a fucking Cadillac, all nice and smooth. Real fast about van. I always heard this from old heads and like my dad, where they always said to put your extension ladder on the passenger side of your truck on the ladder rack, because that way when you roll the window down, like you don't hear like that. Did you ever hear that?
Well, it depends on the position of the ladder. If you, almost every ladder, I feel like will do that if you've got too much push forward over the top of the cab, or you know what I'm saying? But sometimes just even regular ladders will do that. So I've had guys fill them, just put a little spray of the spray foam in there, just put a little dab on each side, and that way it stops. But I think the reason for the passenger side is that if you're parked in front of a house, for instance, that way you're not on the street side when you're taking the ladder off. I think that's the purpose of putting it on the passenger side. So.
Yeah, because he always said that, and I was like, oh, because I always did it. Well, that point too, that's a very good point. But I always know when I put that over there, like if I had like a 10-foot A-frame, 8-foot or 6-foot, whatever was up there. Even though I always kept the 6-foot and a 4-foot inside the truck when I had the tall one. But yeah, I would never have that noise. Granted, my ladders probably had shit shoved in them. That's why you didn't hear the whistling. Didn't have the best ladders when I was up there, to be honest. The ones you touch them and you're all itchy, like mother.
Oh, so they're starting to break down. Yeah, that's what they do when they start breaking down. It'll shed fiberglass every time you touch it.
Yeah, they blow. Do you guys buy the fiberglass ladders, like extension ladders, or do you go all aluminum?
I don't like the all aluminum ones. I know that they make them some beefier ones, but my experience was the janky ones, like the whole damn thing's shaking as you're crawling the ladder, and I hate that. I want something solid,
Yeah, I like the fiberglass ones too. And what gets me though is if people steal them, like the aluminum ones are actually worth more money, I think, because it's all aluminum, even though we pay less for those. But yeah, I agree. I like the fiberglass ones too.
I know they're a little heavier too, but I'll take the stability over. Well,
I know standard's different. So for you, what do you like? 28, 32 foot extension ladder?
Normal, what we buy. Yeah.
28. Yeah, I know we either do 28 to 32, just because of some of the commercial stuff we use. Normally a 32 can get you, and if you ever need something bigger than that, then we'll rent it. Or something. I'm not buying a 40-foot extension ladder. Or they have
30. There's a 36. My old company had a 36, and anytime I had to go like downtown or something, I would have to load that bitch up, and it was fucking heavy. like a lot of the smaller dudes, they couldn't lift it and put it on the truck by themselves. I could, but I'm tall and I was young and fit, you know, but I'm telling you, shit's heavy. So
trust me, I know, like I said, at Supreme, we had a 40-foot one. And I had that one big church. I had a couple of videos I put on Facebook that I would be at sometimes. They had one unit where you had to use this big ass ladder. And it was an old commercial unit. So I had to go over and figure out what's going on. And that bitch about hurt, man. And my back is already janky as it is, man. And, you know, I cup of coffee and turn the wrong way. My back's out for a fucking week.
What happens when you get old?
It sucks, man.
It does.
Especially at this company, man. I'm the fucking old man. You know? Chris, we talk about movies or something. They're like, what's that? I'm like, oh my God.
You've got to see this. Dude, that's so funny because
like,
I'm constantly saying that. Like the girls in my office, like they've never heard of like Office Space. I'm like, dude, you've got to see Office Space. Like
my stapler. Yeah. My stapler.
But yeah, we're just getting old. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Ryan or something one day, and we were talking about I saw like a talking horse, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like Mr. Ed."
Like
he was
who?
like what? I was like, never mind, because I was saying how they used to put peanut butter in his mouth to make him talk, and I was like, yeah, I forgot that's before you were born. I was messing with him. I was like, damn, dude. I was like, I lost my virginity before you were born, bro. And he's like, really? I was like, really?
Well, when you hear people say like, yeah, I was, what is it? Like, I was born in 92. I'm like, dude, like 92, you're just a baby, you know?
Yeah. Or like, yeah, man, you know, back in 2011, you know, when I graduated high school, I'm like, you what? Like you graduated high school? Like you're Jesus Christ, man! Like this is crazy.
It's like how we feel when the older generation was like, "Oh yeah, I graduated in '75." You're like, God damn, I wasn't even born in '75, but '76 is when I was born. So, and that's
you're born the same year as my brother, then.
Yeah, so we're getting old, man. It's an honor to still be here, I guess. Put it that way, because you never know. Every day, you know, every so often somebody will pass away, and it's like just reminds you how short life is. So,
yeah, you got that right. My sister we have a family. We call it the KVOGs. It's the group thread. We have like me, my brother, my sister, my mom, and stuff like that. And it was a lady who was like a friend of my sister's. She used to babysit me when I was like really little. And it's funny. This is a funny story. I'll say this. I remember because I was like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. And I remember this lady had these nice towels that she was like, you know, you don't use these to wipe your hands on. You use these towels. And I wiped my ass with them. And dude, this lady went ballistic. It was a funny story. We were reminiscing the other day, but long story short, she said that one of her daughters OD'd and died. And it was just like, man, dude, like, it's crazy. Yeah. You know, and I hate to say I've kind of become numb to death, just losing so many people. But it still sucks. You never, ever take life for granted. Guys and gals out there, that's why we always say, man, have a plan. Always have a plan. I mean, that's why we always say, like, you want at the end of every show, I always say, you know, make it home the same way you left it. Like, yes, this is a job. This is a career. And we want you to put passion in it. We want you to be good at what you're doing. But you also, like we always say, know your why you're doing it. You know, what is your plan? Are you trying to be better for your family? Stuff like that. You're trying to get a better house for your family. So you got to be careful. It's a crazy world. And the sad part is as the years go on, it's getting crazier and crazier. I mean, it really is.
One time my van, I've driven some really shitty vans working for other people. I mean, like my first van, I worked for a company called Climatech, And my first van, it would not go past 55 mile per hour. Like it was floored at 55. And every time I go up a hill, by the time I get to the top of a hill, I'm doing 45. It was that kind of van, every time I hit a puddle, it would fucking stall out and I'd be stuck there for an hour until everything dried out. And then it would start right back up and I could take off again. And, but anyhow, my point of that, what was my point of that story?
I don't know.
Having a brain fart.
Because you're
I'm
old man.
Old, yeah. Oh, shit. What the fuck was I talking about? Or what was I thinking?
How much you love Gil? I think that's what I said. No,
that wasn't it.
What you said was an old van, only 155. Would have to, if you hit a puddle, would stop, dry out, and then you'd have to, it would stall and I would have to wait. And then somebody would come and like it'd pop the hood and jiggle wires and nothing would start. It really would just start once it dried out. But I can't remember where I was going, why I was telling that story. What was the story that you were telling before? Oh, mine wasn't work related. It was about the old lady that I shit in her
yes
her towels. Yeah, she was screw her.
And then you were talking about the daughter of the lady who babysat you OD'd.
Oh yeah, passed away. Just about life being fragile, and not taking advantage of anything, or taking anything for granted, because we never know what's going to happen. I mean, and sadly, stuff like this is like COVID kind of like brings that to mind. Like, damn, we could shut down and, you fucking forget about shit and things taken away from you and stuff like that. So it's definitely something that,
you were saying like, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I had a thought and I was going to say it and it was a good thought, but now it must not have been that good. So I know this has happened a couple of times where we're just talking and we just have a complete brain fart and can't think of it. But I guess we'll just keep moving on.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We've been willy-nilly tonight, guys. It's
yes.
Yeah, it's just we hope that all you guys are doing well out there, that you're doing you're doing good. You guys are making it through this tough time. I talked to some people. I know some people are still struggling, haven't caught up from the COVID stuff. Some people are thriving, and hey man, it takes all kinds to make the world go round. So we just hope that everybody's getting by. I know some people have been asking some questions. Sorry, I've been so busy. I will get back to answering some of your questions. One of you who is new listening to the podcast was asking about Webbit. We don't use Webbit anymore. And the guy that our old representative, Tyler, is no longer there. So I don't really have any kind of connection there. So if you listen to this, buddy, that's hopefully that will answer your question. But
if you need a website, then, I use that Market Today that I talk about on my YouTube channel, markettoday.com. Like they'll build you a good website. It's very reasonable. Other than that, I drank some whiskey this afternoon. I was asked to be on a podcast. It was fun. We just talked about HVAC and drank some whiskey. So Gil and I are actually thinking about starting. We're going to snort some Coke while we're doing the podcast. Yeah.
Like Rick. We're going to call it like Ric Flair Friday or something. Yeah. Like we got this. You're like, man, this show, these guys are really pumped up. Fucking right, baby. Yeah. Fucking eyes all pinned out. We're just kidding, guys. Any sponsors listening? We're just joking. Will you not advocate drug use? Or if you do it, hit up the Uncensored text line. Just let me know. But yeah, it's I guess, this time of year, I guess we'll go over, we didn't really have any plans today, guys. So we just started, hopping on. And some of these things this time of year, it's all the same shit that we cover. If you guys are doing your heating stuff, guys, be thorough, man. I think that you don't realize how many heat exchangers are cracked until you check. And we're not going to go into all the details about a furnace PM and all that, because we've done that. You can go back and listen to previous podcasts, which, although we're going to have to redo some topics at some point. There's only so many fucking topics in HVAC. But and if you want us to go over that kind of stuff again, then let us know. Email us. I mean, and we can do it again, an updated version. But you have to be thorough, guys. And I guess we can talk about this, having your epiphany and breaking the whole sales stuff in your mind. Because guys, you have to offer things. And this is the analogy that I always use that I want you all to listen to. Okay. If you go to the mechanic shop to get brakes done, and while they're doing your brakes, they see that your rotors are absolutely fucked. But they're like, well, we don't want to get Mr. McKay's bill up because we don't want to piss him off. Just change the brakes and let him go. Kelley goes home a week from now. He's like, what the hell, man? Takes the car back in, and they're like, oh, well, Mr. McKay, you need new rotors too. Kelley's going to be like, dude, I was in here fucking 2 weeks ago and just got new brakes. Why the fuck didn't you tell me I needed rotors? What's he going to say? Oh, well, we didn't want to jack your bill up. Well, if I got to get them, I got to get them. It's the same concept with us. And you don't realize when you offer more stuff, you're more thorough. You put that down, you tell them, document it. We know that on a furnace, when the igniter gets white, hey, it's probably going to go bad soon. It's getting that oxidation on it. You should probably change it. Is it working? Yes, but it's probably going to go bad. You got to clean the flame sensor. Capacitor is getting a little weak. We should probably change it. It's working, but it's going to go bad. You tell them all that stuff. If they don't do, I don't know why the fuck I'm looking over here. I just realized, what the fuck am I looking at over there? Anyway, you document it. And if they say no, hey, that's still okay. Because now you just, like me and Kelley say, CYA, you just covered your ass if they call back in and it stops working. Because then when it stops, you just validate it yourself. You validated what you told the customer. Oh, well, remember when I was out here and I said, that this igniter was going to have to be changed? Like, yeah, that's why I said it. I could have changed it then. And, we wouldn't have had to, go through this, service call, Saturday night at 8:00 that you had to pay overtime. You just validated what you said during your maintenance call. So the next time you go out to do that spring maintenance and you're like, oh, hey, your contactors, is burnt and pitted. We need to replace it. We need to add a surge protector. They're going to be like, you know what? Go ahead, Gil. Go ahead and put it on. That's how this process works. It's really simple. It really is. Some of these guys who they're mind fucked. And I hate to say that. I know I'm cursing a lot tonight, more than usual. But that they think that getting in the cheapest bill possible and get out is the best thing to do. They're the furthest from the truth. I hate to say it, but you guys are bringing your company down. You're actually costing the company money. That's just the God's honest truth. I mean, let's get your opinion on this, Cal.
Absolutely. You're not doing a service to the customer. I mean, we talk about this. We have through the last couple of years, a couple of podcasts, we've went in depth in this, but it's exactly what Gil said. I like the car analogy that I've always said. Like, I buy a car, it's got the sunroof, it's got the window tint, it's got the nice stereo, the nice rims. Gil goes buys the same car and he doesn't have electric windows. He's got the basic factory stereo, and he sees my car and he's like, what the hell? Like, I want that stuff. Well, if the salesman didn't offer it to him, then the salesman's doing a disservice. So I don't know how to get through to people on their minds on this. We get in our own wallets. Like if you don't manage your money properly and you don't have any money to spend on the nice new indoor air quality system or to get your ducts cleaned or to upgrade your thermostat, that has nothing to do with the customer and providing a great service for the customer. It doesn't matter what you can afford. If that's the case, I think a lot of times that's the case. You don't want to offer the 20 SEER unit because you think that, you couldn't afford that monthly payment. Well, it's not up to you. And if you want to be able to afford that monthly payment and get yourself a 20 SEER, then start offering the 20 SEER. And you'll start getting some bonuses and some spiffs, and the company's going to benefit, the customer's going to benefit, and you're going to benefit, period. So you have to do those things, or we're just not providing a good enough service for our customer. I mean, it's not fair to them. And we can't judge and discriminate against who we're going to offer it to versus who we're not going to offer it to. It's literally discrimination.
Yeah, it is.
So
your service should be your service regardless of where you're doing it at. And what we said, and, Mr. Pete Ramsey said it good, where some guys just finally have that epiphany where it's just like, it just hits them like a light bulb. But the sad part is some of them don't. They never have it. I mean, and some of them are pretty decent techs, but they just don't have it. They don't get it. And it's sad because you can try and try and try to drill it into them, but they don't get it. And, it's always somebody else's fault. It's always, well, I need to work for a different company, and it's like, well, this is kind of, revenue, making money is why every company's in business. I don't care what kind of company it is to make money. So that's the bottom line. If you don't make
sales, no matter where you go, if you don't make sales, if you don't make stuff happen and you're not serving that customer, you're not going to be happy anywhere. It's just part of our job now. It's the way it is.
Man, and sales is not a dirty word. All you technicians out there, when you go out and do a maintenance, you go out and change a capacitor, guess what? That's a sale. That is a sale. Every call you go on to is a sale. You don't like to think of it that way, but it is. It's a transaction being made, services and goods, and they're paying for it. It's a sale. So that's how you got to think about it. I mean, and just, to me, I hate to say this, but I almost have a guy over offer a little bit to cover his ass than not offer anything or under offer. Especially nowadays, with the days of the internet and reviews over dumb stuff, is put it in the customer's hands. You just tell them your recommendation is being the expert, and you let them do what they got to do. If they don't do it, you document it, put all that kind of stuff on your ticket. Like this time of year, if you guys have to shut down furnaces for being cracked, you make sure that you document it. Me and Kelley have said this a million times. Shut the gas off, shut the power off, put in there. You found it breached, found it cracked, it's unsafe to operate, shut furnace down, turned off gas and power, yada, yada, yada. Make sure they sign that ticket. Once they sign it, if they turn it on when you leave, you're covered. I have a horror story from that scarred me for life. So that's kind of something big to me. But we have to be thorough. And as a business owner, a manager, me and Kelley talk about this all the time, is when we put systems in place for people to be successful and then you don't fucking use them. Just so you guys know out there as technicians, when you fudge a process, we know you're fudging it, and it's only going to go so long before you're going to get fired. Something's going to happen. So if you guys have a checklist, or, like when I was with the other company in service site, and I know Kelley has it, or whether it's a paper checklist, whatever it is, however you have it, automated, digital, paper, do what you're supposed to do. That is there for a reason. That is to help you be successful. If you're successful, the company's successful. It's kind of this round and round thing. Everybody gets to eat. Okay. That's what we preach here at Beltway. Everybody gets to eat. If you guys do good, the money trickles up, trickles into the company, then we're going to trickle it back down. That's how it works. But you can't give something you're not getting, or you don't have to give. So just something you guys got to think about. It's really simple. And the funny thing is I don't want to keep getting long-winded here, but when people do have that epiphany, it's great, because I had it. I tried to be a good person, never wanted to lie, do whatever I had to do, and then it just hit me where it's like, man, like I offered some things to this customer. I got a $2,500 ticket. They gave me a $50 tip. The customer fucking loves me. They left me a good review. I'm going to get, some spiffs in my check, and my boss is giving me attaboys. I'm like, this is fucking great. That's pretty much how it works. That's how it happens.
Also, just add to that is that there's calls, because Gil's been on them. I've been on them. My guys have been on them. Your guys have been on them. Like where you walk in, they're like, I'm not buying nothing. I just want to get this fixed or something like that. I mean, they're trying to like control the conversation. They're trying to, and if you let that get in your head, right away, that's the thing. That's the book I was going to recommend is Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. That book really helped me like make this shift in my thinking, to think like somebody's selling somebody here. And if I walk in and they start that type of talk, like we're not buying nothing, we're, because some people will say that right off the bat, like you haven't even looked at the furnace yet. We just want an estimate on how much it's going to cost. We're probably not going to buy anything. I just want to know what it's going to take to fix it. Okay, well, I'm going to ignore that. Like, okay, well, I'm not here to sell anything, or I'm going to say something to that degree. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm just here to see what you need. And then I'll give you some options and we'll go from there. But if I don't build any rapport with that person, if I immediately shut down and think, oh, he's not buying anything, like why should I even offer? Because they already told me they're not going to buy. I'm telling you, those are the people who you'll walk away with the check and they'll be smiling. They'll be your best friend if you just do your job. You build rapport just by being a good person and doing what's right for them and offering them options. And once that happens, dude, they'll buy from you.
Because being honest, normally people like that have been screwed over. So they want to set the tone saying, hey, you don't come in here and just try to sell me shit and fuck me over, because that's not going to happen. But if you're like, hey, I'm just here to fix whatever your problem is. Once I figure out what's going on, I'll present it to you and then we'll go from there. We'll find an option that works best for you. Is that okay? Yeah, that's cool. And then, you talk to them, you BS, change the subject a little bit, like, man, that's a huge backyard you got back there. Oh yeah. Get off the topic, build that rapport with the customer. I'm like, hey, if it makes you feel better, if you want to come downstairs while I'm looking at the furnace, you're more than welcome to watch me. I can explain it to you. Those people have eaten out of my hands. So I don't care if they want to watch me. But if they don't, I come back up and I explain. I'm thorough. I'm detailed in what I say. Hey, sir. So what happened is, your furnace is overheating. It's cutting off. I went through all the components safety wise. It's cutting off on a safety. This thing is overheating. If you want to come down, take a look. I pulled the blower out and climbed in there. I know this is not what you wanted, but I just want to be honest with you and let you know that this heat exchanger is cracked. And then I stopped. I don't say anything. Well, what does that mean? Can we change it? Well, no, sir. Sadly, when a heat exchanger goes bad, the furnace is pretty much done. This furnace is out of warranty, so it doesn't really make sense to change a heat exchanger. For what you're going to pay for me to put a heat exchanger in, you can probably get a brand new furnace with a warranty. If you want to come down, I'll come down and show it to you. I know this is not what you wanted to hear, but I just, I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell you what I found. And then just let it sink in. Shut up. And I'm not saying go say the heat exchanger is cracked if it's not. I'm just using that as an example. And I've had those situations and people sitting there, and I keep being empathetic. Like, I'm really sorry. I know this is not what you wanted to hear. I know this is never good. I like to be the guy that fixes it. Just come in and gets it working and rolls. I don't like to have to be this guy, but I also don't want anything to happen to you and your family. And you just put in perspective, and people see that you care and you're honest and you have empathy and that you give a shit about what you're doing goes a long way. People will spend money if they have to. People don't spend money with people they don't trust. It's that simple. They don't. If they think that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you're not confident in your diagnosis, they're not going to buy from you. That's when you're going to get all the objections. Well, you know what? I think we're just going to let it go, man. We're just going to hold off a little bit. Who the fuck's going to go without AC and without heat? Well, I take that back. I know a couple of weirdos that do that, but most people, majority are going to get their stuff fixed. It's just not with you. That's how that works. So
my whole point was that if they come in and that's what they're saying, that's their attitude, what they're telling you, like, we're not going to spend any money, and you do find whatever's bad. Well, if you don't do your due diligence and offer them options, and of course, if you find a cracked heat exchanger, offering probably a new furnace, but not
that was probably
not really
a bad
talking
analogy.
about that particular type situation, just a regular situation where they're trying to control the entire thing. And that's just the number one thing with any sales is you've got to be the authority. You've got to have some control in the conversation, period. You just do, because you're the professional. You're the person who does this every stinking day over and over and over again. You're the expert. You're not, it's not like this is your first rodeo when you walk into a house. So we have to act like it's not our first rodeo. Let them, to a certain degree, just through our actions and through our personality and through the way we present ourselves and the way we speak, we have to come off as the professional. I mean, we are professionals, so start acting like it. And if you think because they tell you we're not spending any money, and that just completely shuts you down and you're not even going to offer options because they already, these always get all the crappy calls. They don't ever give me the good calls. These people don't want to spend any money, blah, blah, blah. Well, if that's your attitude, then nobody likes to hear this, but you were sold. You were sold by the customer telling you that they're not spending any money with you. When if you just do your job and present options and let them decide, it's not even selling. It's literally not even selling. You're just being a professional, and instantly we all know average tickets go up. We all know the customer experience goes up. I haven't counted them exactly, but we've got a handful of customers that really appreciate the fact that they were given options, and they write about it in the reviews. That says something. And we all know when we talk to if you guys haven't listened to the new flat rate guy, the Rodney Cope, Rodney went into like Lowe's and Home Depot and stuff and just sat and studied how people were choosing their faucet, for their sinks. And he trying to discover these patterns of buying behavior. And there's certain patterns. For one, they only took so many seconds to choose. Like, they're not going to sit there and contemplate it for 30 minutes. Number two, they always had options. And more times than not, they went with the middle option. So if you just do your diligent, what we all should be doing, which is allowing the customer to choose what they want, then more times than not, they're going to choose something that's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit them and benefit the company every time, damn near every time.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's something as simple as, I tell guys to think about this. Sometimes you got to step back a little bit and just take yourself out of the equation. But if you were not in HVAC and somebody came to your house, you had a maintenance contract and, they came out twice a year Guy came out, did your AC PM. He came and he just, hey, I'm Steve. Check your AC. Okay, thanks. Goes downstairs, he's down there for, 10 minutes. Goes outside. He's outside. You hear fiddling around for another 10 minutes and he comes back and he goes, yeah, everything looks good. No issues found. Yeah, everything seems to be working good. Here, sign here. Oh, okay. Thanks. Comes back in the fall. Same thing. Like, oh, well, hey, you need to renew your service contract. You might get them once, but you do that the second year. In my mind, I'm going to think, well, do I really need this? Do I really need to spend this? Exactly. Do I really need to spend $200 and something a year for this guy to come poke around and tell me nothing's ever wrong? No. And something's always wrong. You can take that how you want, but unless this system is brand new, and if it's brand new, there's still things to make it better. We can do that in a whole nother podcast. But there's always something to be offering, something you should bring up to add value in what you're doing. Take your time. Those are the people that will renew. And that's really how you got to think about it. People are like, I don't understand why, these people aren't, they don't ever renew their contracts. Because to be honest, at my last company, Supreme, we were great at selling service contracts. We weren't good at renewals. And that was why. When we started building the value and I started putting these sheets together and different things to make every maintenance be the same, no matter who did it, renewals started going back through the roof.
And
that's when we really started growing.
You always got to find opportunities to show the value also. So when you're out there and you're like, even if you don't find anything and you build some options anyways, because there's always something. I can't sit there and say you're not going to find anything. I mean, you guys understand this at this point. Like they need at least a case of filters, right? So offer it to them. So, but the thing is that if they're, God damn it, Gil, I'm just like loopy tonight. I'm tired.
You're good, buddy. We're going to go ahead and end this thing anyway.
I'm struggling. So,
sorry, everybody. We've both been busy as all hell, man. And, but we don't like to put anything out. We wanted to sit here and just talk to you guys. So we're sorry if this isn't our best work. Cut us a fucking break.
Yeah. My whole point is that even if you don't really find much, we have to find ways to show the value of the service contract. So that's where I was going with that, which is it's a good thing you had us out, Mr. KV. I found that your hot service igniter was about to, it's getting weak. Here, I built some options that I'll show you here in just a moment to see if you're interested in replacing it. But I also found that your flame sensor was really dirty. It kind of had like a cake of junk on it. So I got that all nice and cleaned, and that's something that can really leave you without heat if it stays dirty. So it's a great thing that you had this maintenance agreement, because it probably saved me from having to come out on a Saturday night. So if I communicate that to the customer, and even the dispatchers, the CSRs who take the phone calls initially, there's going to be opportunities when customers are calling to talk about the value of the maintenance agreement. Well, oh yeah, Mrs. Smith. Well, our schedule is really full. Even if it isn't, our schedule is really full. But because you're a maintenance agreement holder, I'm going to get you squeezed in because you go to the front of the line when you own one of our maintenance agreements. Like that right there, they're going to think, okay, when it's time to renew, remember that one time when I called, they put me to the front of the line. Remember the last time they came out, they were able to fix that thing, which, Kelley said that it's a good thing I had it, because otherwise he may have to come out for an emergency. So all of those things build value. And as long as you continue to build value, the renewal is like, it's a done deal. Like there will be no discussion like, oh yes, I'm definitely renewing. It just won't be a problem. Or even better yet, put them on a monthly. And if you don't have a CRM that does that easily, like it's time to get one. Cause it's split that payment up into monthly payments. That's how everybody buys anything anymore anyways. I mean, you want Disney Plus, whatever that is, Netflix, $8.99, Amazon Prime,
Well,
whatever. Like,
that's why me and Ryan talked too about, I don't want to take the credit from Ryan because he's brought this up, and it's really, smart, is like, that's why like blogs and automation and stuff like that, having a social media presence is, or online is so big, because it's going to get to a point where people aren't going to be calling you anymore. They're going to start going, hey, Alexa, schedule me an appointment to get my heat looked at. And, it's going to start setting the appointments for you. Hey, Siri, hey, I want to get a haircut on Thursday. Like, that's where we're going. Like, that is where we're going. And you want to be ready for that. And kind of going off the rails here, but I think that's definitely the direction we're going. I mean, if you see the kind of things that are happening with technology, that's definitely the route that we're going.
Yeah. And, I think eventually, I don't know what that next form of advertising is going to be, but I don't believe it's always going to be Google ads. I don't believe it's always going to be pay-per-click, like that kind of stuff. I do think it's going to shift away from that stuff.
It's going to change. I mean, just think about think about what the advertising was 5 years ago, 10 years ago to what it is now, and it's going to be different 5-10 years from now, so, and to be honest, the people who really set it off are the ones who can think about what it's going to be and stay on top of that market so that they're in the forefront. Right. That's people who are the industry leaders, and it's hard, it's hard.
You're trying to predict the future, man.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
it's definitely nuts, but hey, we're not going to keep going tonight. We can, if you got something to say, we can start to close this out,
I'm
man.
ready to close it out. It's been a long week and already, and we're kind of all over the place tonight anyway. So, but hey, you know what? It don't have to be perfect every single time. So we're not perfect in any way. We're just trying to deliver a little bit of information, something to help you out, give you a little boost in your business and gain some extra revenue and gain some more spiffs. And, hopefully I'm hoping, after we talked about this last year about Christmas bonuses, because that shit's coming. I'm handing out Christmas bonuses next week because of, Black Friday. I want people to have their money by Black Friday. So, hopefully y'all are getting some Christmas bonuses soon. I hope.
Be grateful if you get one. No
matter what it is. It's been a rough year for a lot of people. Some businesses are thriving. We see it on Facebook. We see it all over the place. Some of them are thriving. Some of them aren't. And so if you get anything, be grateful for sure.
Yes. And if maybe you get something, it's not as much as you like, it's a lot lower than what you would think. Don't be an asshole and be selfish. Just know that people are struggling this year. And a lot of times you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. If your owner's been taking as much money as he normally takes as a paycheck, so that you guys could all have your full paycheck. There's a lot of things that you don't know. So maybe say, I'm just making up numbers. Say you normally get $1,000 or 1 week's pay or something is normally what you get. And maybe this time that, the owner's like, he gives you all, $300. Like, hey, I'm sorry, it's not what you guys normally get, but I just wanted to say thank you. Don't be an asshole. Like, what the fuck am I going to do with $300? Well, guess what? He didn't have to give you $300.
No, it is a absolute privilege to be getting any type of Christmas bonus. So, yeah. I went several Christmases without a bonus. I don't know about you. If you guys ever had to go without a bonus, I did. For the people that I worked with. Oh yeah. And one year was, I don't know if we just had a great year, but I got $1,000. And the next year I got 100. things change. It wasn't a reflection on me or my performance. I'm sure it was just the business. It didn't have the money. So it's just something to consider if you're given something. So that Gil makes a great point. Just be thankful, be grateful for whatever you get.
Yeah. Especially if your company's been struggling and it was rough and it got hit hard. Don't make a situation. Don't turn a good thing into something negative. That's what I always say. But as far as what you said, there's plenty of years that I didn't get one. So that's why when we did thrive, I did get those huge Christmas bonuses because that was like, hey man, you didn't get anything back then. Fucking here. Right. You know what I mean? So just
absolutely. Yeah. So anyhow, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you grabbed something from us tonight. I know we were kind of all over the place, but that's all right. So love you guys. Thanks for listening. Be sure to share this with your family, friends, coworkers, neighbors, relatives, and be sure to subscribe. Please subscribe. Leave us a review. We'll be reading reviews again here soon. So leave us some new ones. It's fun to read new ones. And tell us how you feel about the podcast. Hopefully you've heard at least one or two episodes that helped you in some way, shape, or form. Because that's all we're here for, is to just help you guys. So thank you. Love you guys. And have a happy Thanksgiving this week, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Be sure to enjoy your family. Be sure to take that moment and be safe. If anyone's been sick, be safe, but enjoy that time with your family. Like we said earlier in the podcast, like life is short. This could be a Thanksgiving. This could be the last Thanksgiving that you get to see somebody. So be sure to enjoy their company and visit with them and stay drama free and just love on each other. So anyhow, guys, go make money.
Yes, guys, we appreciate you guys so much, guys and gals. Thank you for building Uncensored Nation into what it is, man. We say it all the time, but we and Kelley are very grateful. So that's why we always want to show our gratitude of how thankful we are for, the OG Uncensored Nation people that have been here since day one, to all of the new people that just found us. We love all of you the same, man. We appreciate you guys. You guys are the ones who make this possible and keep us doing this. Please don't ever be afraid to hit us up. Like I say, the text line, the neglected text line, the uncensored text line, 443-422-1000, 443-422-1000. Email us, hvacuncensored@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Facebook. I mean, me and Kelley aren't hard to get a hold of. But ask us questions. Let us know topics. Different things. And I know I've been saying it, but Saturdays, I am going to start the live streams back up. I really want to start doing that. I really miss it, to be honest. A lot of the people I used to interact with. So I am going to start doing that here. Just so you know. But yeah, sorry about tonight. Me and Kelley tonight was kind of a mix up as far as what we were going to do, but we didn't want to miss another show, especially after last week where I had a brain fart and didn't want to put that show out. It was an awesome guest that we're going to get back and redo the show. And you guys are going to love that one. Like he was really, really awesome. So I didn't want to put out anything that wasn't that good and make it look like he was a bad guest, because it wasn't him. It was 100% me. And I want to get him back so we can have another kick-ass episode with him. But anyway, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, man. I love you guys as always. Be safe out there. Always make it home the same way you left. All right. We all got somebody to go home to. Do the little things. Set yourself apart, please. We want each and every one of you out there to be successful. Man, woman, whether you're black, green, purple, I don't care. Be successful. Always do your best. All right. And when you go home, I'm adding something this time. When you go home at night, kiss your loved ones and tell them you love them every night. All right. Don't take anything for granted, especially with this crazy world the way it is. All right. All right, man. Until next week, until next time, I'll talk at you mofos later. Peace. So.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.